Hello and welcome to this CodeBuddies.org live code hangout. Today we'll be continuing to work on our prototype Django app. We're going to add a new feature, actually the first feature today, user groups. So far we've worked on some mockups that kind of give an idea of the direction of the app. I'll start the app here in a minute and we'll take a quick look at the mockups. And then we'll start getting into some Django code. So, I'm in the wrong project there. Now, got the right terminal. We'll grab the poetry shell. And the dependencies should be installed here. Let's see, already activated. Okay, I hadn't done that when we started it up because I told poetry to leave the virtual environment in the project. And we need to go into the project directory, run the server, if I type correctly. Alright, looks like the dependencies might not be installed in the, I think it was the master branch. There we go, and I'll bring this over here to Chrome. Chromium, okay, cool. So essentially, what we've got here are two mockups. And maybe I didn't merge that branch. Let me see, I've got a pull request open, initial mockup, so I didn't merge it. All right, let's go ahead and merge that real quick. Delete the branch. Okay. I believe that should now give us the route. That's been an ongoing debate on how to pronounce that. I don't know how to speak English. But essentially, what we want to do is help people come together to care for a loved one or a friend or loved one, and so it's essentially a care group centered around a person. Potentially, it could be a mutual care group where the group members help to care for one another, but the initial idea is centered around a person. For example, parents could be aging and the children or family, extended family, or even caregivers want to all come together and help meet their needs for various generic activities. We're trying to not put too much personally identifiable information in the app, but have enough information that is meaningful and helps people coordinate the care activities. Appointments, going shopping, just calling to hang out, run errands together, go to entertainment or nature or other outings. I suppose I could add a couple more examples while they're fresh in my mind. Helping around the house, so housework. There was something else. Let me just add the housework one and let's see if I remember the other one. Well, we can add it while we're in this branch. But yeah, that's essentially the feature we're going to add today is the ability to define groups. So maybe have an action button here that lets you set up a group. Maybe not with the avatar yet. I'll look at file handling separately. Have to make a couple of decisions around there. But at least you'll have a group with a title and a brief description. You can view the group page, and as this, then you'll have group members. We'll render some. We'll change how. I think this will switch to tabbed rendering, and we'll have membership. We'll manage the membership of the Django admin for the first first step, one step at a time. But let me just go ahead and add that housework. To the mockup. And really, you know, these are just to give examples. Outing. Entertainment could be an outing. But I believe, let's see. These are all listed here under the activities side of things. Card body. So we just need one full card. And we'll bring it down here to the bottom of the list. Ends here. Housework, and this can be December 27th. Oh, housework I think is good. Home. Because all these kind of activities are very enriching and are, you know, areas where somebody might need a little bit of assistance as they age. Let's see if I did that correctly. Did I save? Housework, participate. No, I put it in the wrong place, didn't I? I put it in the members. There it is. So I did it correctly, but I put it in the wrong place. Membership is also a card. Cool. You know, and I might make it easier on myself and factor this out, but here we go. The last card is here. Let's see if that worked. Ooh, something imitation. No. It's right here. Yeah, okay, so the home bootstrap icons. Definitely, I mean, I could use some help with housework, so it's no, I think it's not, it's a common need, basically. It's not anything unusual. So these are high-level needs. There was something else, you know, just keeping company. Socializing is a good one. I think all of these implicitly have socialization involved. I mean, but yeah, of course, you just want to show up to hang out and not have any other particular activity or agenda in mind. So yeah, it's not necessarily the final list, and it should be relatively small though, kind of generic, high-level things, giving people the opportunity to see the needs and help fill the void, fill the gap. But, and these are time-based and possibly recurring. Like you maybe want to go shopping once a week, but for the prototype MVP, probably not going to look at recurring events. But let's go ahead and just add the housework one as an example. Oh, I see, I just did these out of order. Publish the branch, create pull request, we'll create as a draft. Here we go, and we should have a pull request here. Open, there it is, initial groups feature, I'll put that in the chat. I believe I should be able to, okay, OBS includes the chat in the UI, but I can't actually participate there. Oh, that's a bummer. Shoot. How do I get to the chat? Chat's disabled for this video. So it's okay. It says made for kids. Now I did specify no when I created the chat. In OBS, I think there's an OBS bug that it's defaulting to made for kids. All right, well at least I've got the chat going on now. Cool, so now I was wondering why the chat was so quiet all the time. Do I check my, I can't manage the broadcast while I'm in OBS. If I pop out the chat, does that work? I don't want to fiddle with it too much. View docs, chat. The OBS chat only displays it's read only. Okay, now I know. Very cool. All right, so we've got our pull request open. So let's go to the data model section of it. I'll have to update the README. I changed the license to EUPL. Since we're starting to get into the code, the prototyping section, I wanted a little bit more strong copyleft for this idea. So I believe we'll need a new app called Groups. Now, let me just double check. That this won't collide. Now I don't, that's unfortunate, I don't want to use the Django group model for ACL, which it's going to be a naming collision, so we'll have to come up with something different. There's a little bit of a wrench in the works. What's the synonym for group? Let's find out. Of people, though. Of people. No, that's not. Well, okay. I guess just care groups. This name is so difficult for this project, I can't really come up with a good name for it. the name already. What do you do? Model. Ooh, nice. I like that. Let's see why. Okay, so that was me. Big auto field. So our primary key is going to be big and distinct because it has to be an identity and hard to guess. So very cool. I think this verbose name and verbose name plural are all lowercase. Now we need, let's call it name title. We'll have a, name. And what kind of a field? So character field. And max length should be something reasonable. $50 characters, is that? Okay, this is weird. Yeah, this is. I'm not seeing this convention. Yeah, something happened, but now I've got it correct. So previously it was okay. Just need to switch that back to. So first the name, then the members. And register the app, care groups with our core settings. Oops. I do need to put this chat back here in case somebody does drop in. There we go. And I need to import internationalization and reverse. Quick fix on that one, but I think it's all quick fix. No. URLs, I think. That's correct. And what was the other one? I don't think it's going to be able to resolve it because Just get text. Okay, I'm just gonna. I think the lowercase is good. We do want this to be internationalized. And I will need to register this with the admin. Call it this, and the model is. A shortcut for this. We're using Django 4 now, which is kind of cool. Download documentation. There we go. And this is not muscle memory, so I just got to look these things up as I go. The Django admin site. There we go. So admin, not model admin. Alright, so it's not giving me a nice autocomplete. At least I can't find it. Really? Let's see if that works. Put the decorator. Yeah, so it does uppercase it. And we got a first care group. Be on site. Now this is gonna break, but admin. Oh. Detail. Interesting. I'm not sure what this snippet was going after, what convention, but yeah, we'll need to define a URL for it in any case. So essentially we're going to do URL patterns. Any autocomplete there. It's a UUID, I believe. Views. I need 2 views. I'm thankful to Wagtail for providing these out of the box, but I'm going to have to do the manual wiring views. Do a class-based view. Redirect, no. Here, built-in class. Generic display views. List view. List of objects. Perfect. First we list the care groups, then we'll list the care group detail. The deal is, well, let me think more about that. Let me go into the reverse order. Let's do the detail view first. And I don't think I need to override the context. Path slug. Let's see if it maybe is a slug, I suppose. Slug. Groups. Be explicit. Path. That works. So we're going to do in our reverse. We're going to in our model reverse will be so care group detail. Now they're using hyphenation here. So now I get it. I understand the convention. Quargs PK. So that would be PK. Should be formatting the strings. Did I miss something? I don't think so. All right. Reverse. So actually, let me OKSD. So I need to actually refresh the page and vision on the side. No. What is the care group? What is the care group? It's not using the right. Oh, dang it. Integer. Okay. All right. let's see. Well, I believe I do want to use an a UUID here. Oops. Alright, so then we just need a PK field. This is, we might come back to view model PK. Field. Yeah, it's just UUA. Okay. Well, ID is fine. PK is kind of weird. See what happens here. Actually, this is what I wanted. Alright, so getting a lot of tabs open here. We'll come back to the many to many. Shoot, care groups. Yes. So maybe Something weird with the formatting. Yeah, something weird with the formatting. Group detail. Actually, yeah. The ID field is UUID, and I need to register. And register the URLs. That's the deal. Core URLs. There we go. From groups. I think groups is fine here. Now, what's going to happen? Let's find out. And no reverse match. Spare care groups that we can see. It's not what I meant to type. Huh, okay. Maybe. I did just drop the database. have no care groups. If I add one, save and continue editing. Test group. Now it looks to me like a pretty good UUID. Now if I view it on site, Django wasn't letting me specify the PK field. The admin is wanting to route to that. It could be that I just need to say PK in the URL. This is weird. Now at least it's generating the right one. All right. Models. This should be PK then. Weird. Because I said the primary is true, I suppose. Huh. I'd like this to be PK, so it's explicit. Let me just try. Clear out these migrations real quick. Then set this model to PK. See if it's still reserved. Yeah. Now I know. But since I said it's a primary key, then it didn't become PK, so I guess it's just aliasing whatever is the primary key. All right, nuance noted. Let's see here. I'm gonna take a quick break. So first we need to create one more group, get all set up, and then I'll come back, continue after the break. Very cool. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, thanks for bearing with me. Now we've got a test group. We've got our URL in reverse, working properly. And we're just going to add our templates. All right, so this should extend base HTML. And then, just for right now, our block content will contain a group heading. All right, now that's a little bit annoying. That formatting is not. Not desirable. So we should. So I added a folder. Goodness. Where's my? And Django is not monitoring that folder. Now it will be. All right, so we've got a group. Do we have anything in the context? So what's the context called? Oops, my view. Context object name. It's essentially it. I don't know. There's no value in there. The reverse. This might not have changed since Django 1. So in our detail, we can see what happens here. Yes. Brilliant. I like getting in the flow when things just start clicking, when following conventions and stuff just works. All right. So that's good progress. Let's commit all these. Commit the initial scaffolding. Shoot. Excellent. Check these. Now I just realized my mockups are perhaps colliding with these. Interesting. So I believe we can add a little bit more to the model now. There's a brief description. Rich text field or something, but what do we have in Django? Well, let's just go straight to members. Description might not be so important. Members, though, membership. Many to many field. What does this take? Related name. Groups. There we go. We'll come back to this one. Many to many field 2 from related name. Now let's see. We run the server, we go to admin. We look at our first test group. All right, so there is membership, which is not gonna be ideal, but it's good for now. I need a dummy user. On the list view, we'll filter it down to including membership only, listing only groups that where you're a member. Yeah. So There should always be a member, right? Whoever created it. Yeah. Let's see. I'll have to figure that out. That default membership. See what happens here. Oh. It works. Now, if I look at the, let's see, if I look at the markup in the template, got heading 1, we've got a row with columns. All right, so heading 1, row, call, yeah, right. Heading 2 activities. There we go. Call M D4 D2. And this goes here. If which there should always be again, but at this point it doesn't have a signal. Yes. bit of progress. That actually looks kind of clean. Yeah, and we'll have the activities model next, probably next session. This is a little bit over an hour. I can take a break and get some dinner. I'll just take a look real quick. I'll have to research this offline, I believe, but how to set default membership. When you create a group, I think I'll have to use a signal. Something like this. Well, this is probably similar to in the model. Yeah, save. Okay. Let's commit these real quick. Save. Oh my gosh. I don't mind the type annotations, I suppose. The save should be running every time though, so that might get. I think I'm gonna introduce a bug here. More or less. It's a while ago. Still the same. But that's, yeah. Model admin though. So you have to do it in the form or the admin. Okay. Makes sense. It's got to come to request user. Well, I don't have a front end form yet, so or groups list. It doesn't quite make sense to add it there. I can add it in the admin, the model admin, but I don't want the admins to be added to all the groups. So I'll leave it as a minor inconvenience for now. That's basically what we'll do here. Well, okay, so maybe I'll continue a little bit, and I'll do the groups listing, initial groups listing, and then I'll create a create view, providing a new group. So we have the many-to-many in there. So the groups doesn't have a view associated with it. And our next generic display would be a list view. Get this fixed. We'll grab the URLs. Essentially, yeah, so we do the base path, which is that. And it's going to look for a template. Named care groups, care group list. So this extends. Block. Groups. And for group groups. Group. Good. Not sure how those repositories got mixed up. Now I do have some markup, which is nothing too fancy. It's just a series of bootstrap cards, basically. Should work. That's good. Nice. Big. Where's my bit of extra markup around it. It's actually pretty good stopping point. So we're essentially able to reproduce the mock-ups. I'll need like a boot, some sort of way of getting back to that, but and navigating around the app. But the mock-ups are coming to life a little bit. We've got some data populating those. I'll need to look up and decide how to do image handling. Maybe I forget the name of it. White noise, I think, is one of the options here for easy image handling in Django. Or if we want the hero images at all, I think so. And in particular, if we get this into like a Flutter app, there's a really nice animated hero image, and it personalizes the app. I think we should have people's faces or group. At least a group hero image would be meaningful, and we should also put it up here. But great. All right, let me go ahead and just take a moment to clean up, close a couple tabs, and we'll do an outro. Welcome to a recap of today's CodeBuddies.org live code hangout. Today we've been continuing to work on our group care application. Doesn't have a name yet, but the idea is to take some of our mockups and convert those into actual functioning code with the database backend. So essentially what we've done today, here's the working page that is populated by SQLite database at this point. We've got a groups listing, and I've created one group, and when you click the button, the group page is displayed, and there's no activities yet. I haven't gotten to that part of it, but we did get the group membership, and it's listing the members here. Just an unstyled, it's not even a list, it's just like going to have to be improved later. You can see the URL uses a UUID, so each group has a unique identifier that can't really be guessed. I think that's going to be important for privacy reasons, and I will have to add access control at a later point where only members of the group can access the page. Similarly, on the groups listing page, you should probably only see groups that you're already a member, which means I'll have to have a way of adding groups through this front end as well as the Django admin. So let's just quickly take a look at the Django admin. What we have here is a new model, care groups, and we'll take a look at the code in a moment. And each care group essentially has a title or a name and members, which are Django users. These are the default Django admin widgets for the particular types of fields: a text field, a character field, and a many-to-many field. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the code now. I didn't prepare the tabs, but what we've done today is added a few commits, and I'll just go through the files that we worked with during the live coding session. So we created a new app called Care Groups, and previously I've been working with these mockups and bringing the mockup code into this Care Groups app today. So I'll close these templates out. What we did first was registering the Care Groups app with our settings. That was about all we needed here. And defining some URLs in the Care Groups app and prefixing those with groups. And you can see I just imported those here. So that was all we needed in the core settings. Now if we take a look here at the Care Groups app itself, we've got the default app configuration. And at first it was using a big auto field, which would give the model instances an integer, basically a big int for their ID, which is fairly easy to guess. Like if you have group number 400, then you can pretty much figure out there's 399 groups and start going through those. So I wanted to have a little bit better security through obscurity in this case. So what we did is created a care group model, and we specified an ID field with a UUID, universally unique identifier, and set it to be the primary key, UUID version 4, and the user can't edit it. We don't want them to be able to override it. Each group has a name, which is a character field. Up to 50 characters, I think, is reasonable. We could revisit that decision. It was kind of arbitrary, but we don't want the group names to be really long. It'll start to kind of clobber the user interface. We might need to use an ellipsis or whatever to kind of fit the constraints of the page. And a members field, which is a many-to-many field, linking the user model. I actually should use the configuration variable for that. I forget the shorthand, or there's a particular way of getting the settings I use, user models, something like that. In any case, I just imported it directly here. And from any given user, we can get a list of their care groups, which actually might be a good way for me to generate the care group listing page now that I think of it. So that we don't have to, we just tailor it to the particular person's care groups rather than creating a generic list view and filtering it. I might approach it that way. Just added a verbose name and verbose name plural so that things look nicely in the user interface, and a default string representation to print the name, the group name, and an absolute URL which returns the reverse for our care group detail URL, which we'll see in just a moment, and passes in the primary key, which is specified here. It's our ID field, but Django uses this alias here. Let's take a look at the URLs and then the view that was created. We have two URLs. When you go to /groups, it's going to render this base URL that's going to list the groups as a view, and I'm considering how I might actually revise this, but essentially it's a generic list view that takes a model, and we'll look at it in a moment, and returns a list of those model entities. We'll give it a name, care group list. Similarly, with the /group/ primary key, you'll get a detail view for that particular group. These views are just using the generic class-based views from Django. We've got the care group detail, which inherits from detail view. Both of these take our care group model, and I pass in a friendly context object name, so our templates are a little bit more readable, meaningful. So when we're looking at a detail view for a particular group, we want the context object to be called group, and when we're looking at a list group, a view of groups, we can have a plural groups there. I might revisit this code again to just do a generic template view and override the context, or I could override the get context here. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. We then took some code from the generic template, these mockups, and essentially brought it over into the list view here. So we've got our list content block shows groups, and we have a row with one column, and there's a margin bottom, which I don't think is necessary here. And for each of the groups, we're going to render it in a card. I don't have group avatars yet or any image handling, so we'll have to come to that later. So for now, I just used a static image from Unsplash, as I did in a mockup. But in the card body, we do have the group string representation, which is the name field, and a link to view the group, which takes creates a URL to the group detail and passes in the group ID. So if you recall, from this group sheet, we have the group detail there. And when I click the group view button, it takes us to the group detail page, which is basically the same pattern. We've got overriding the content block. We use the group name and a title. The default string representation is the name. We create a row with two columns. Our group activities are the primary reason that people are forming these groups, is to coordinate activities. We just don't have any kind of functionality for that yet, but I figured I would put it in the user interface. And if there are members of the group, which there should be by default when you create a group, you would be the automatically added to it. But I don't have a form here. I'm going to have to add the functionality to create a group as a form. The Django admin allows us to create groups, but I don't want to add the administrative user to each of the groups. It does make sense here from the front end. So when I come around to the add group feature, then we'll automatically make sure that the user who is creating the group is added there. But in any case, so I had to do a little safety check there, I suppose, and render members section. It's 4 columns wide, and listing each of those, the string representation of a user is the username. That's about it. That was the progress we made today. But we're getting these, again, these mock-ups, and we're populating with actual data. So I think it's an important step, taking the app development one step at a time. Our app is open source on GitHub. It doesn't have a name yet. It's definitely a prototype. And I'm not sure exactly how the features will develop over time, but one of the long-term ideas is that we'll have a Django backend and a web client, as well as potentially a mobile client on iOS and Android using Flutter. But all of that is up in the air, and so the first thing I need to do is just get the general features in place for the prototype and get early feedback for the idea. Okay, well, thanks again for watching. This has been a CodeBuddies.org live code hangout. If you'd like to get involved with this or similar projects, stop by CodeBuddies.org. Have a great day, and I hope you stay well.